Good morning, artists. This is Mrs. Langless here, and we are coming back to our current artwork that really is all about shading. We have been working a lot lately on developing different values of colors going light to dark in order to make objects look more real, more three-dimensional, and really it just makes the artwork look more interesting, I think, and sometimes, more beautiful. So this project is really bringing it all together, all the practice that we've done over the last couple of weeks. So last time we worked on drawing circles, and I asked you to do at least 3 circles on your paper, tracing objects that you have around your house, or maybe you have circle making tools. Once you did that, you developed the values going from dark to light. I chose to do just black and white, with developing the grays in between. You could use color if you wanted to. That was up to you as the artist. So you can see that I have finished all of my shading for my circles, and I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. Today, we are going to move on to the next step by developing this area in the background, the area behind our circles. So for this, what you're going to need is a pencil and a straight edge or a ruler. And you're basically just creating lines that break up the background. So what I'm going to do is start with a line right here. And then maybe I will make one that goes kind of like this. Sort of makes a big X through my paper. Then it feels like maybe, I think I want one that goes like this. So really this part of the design is very open-ended. It's very much up to you. Just kind of drawing lines until you feel like, okay, the artwork looks good. It looks ready for the next step, which is adding color. So I'm looking at mine right now. I feel like maybe there should be one more line going in this direction behind these circles. So notice I'm stopping. I'm not drawing my line right through the circles I developed. I'm just drawing it here and then skipping over and doing it in the back, because these shapes are actually overlapped by the circles that we did before. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That's where I'm going to stop, and then now I'm going to start to develop my values in these shapes behind my circles or spheres. A sphere is really a 3-dimensional circle, meaning that you can see around the whole thing. And so I have one that I've been working on. So I'm going to put this one to the side to show you this next step. All right. So here I am. And again, you can see those 5 circles, but this time now you can see these colors that I'm starting to add in here. So basically what I've been doing is I've been using different values. Here I went with sort of a red-violet, and then it faded to this kind of pink to a darker, maybe fuchsia, and then it faded out to a violet over here. So you can choose whatever color combinations you'd like, and work within that, fading from one to the next. I'm going to do one right now as a demonstration to show you how it works. Now, this is very similar to that second practice that we did, working with color and learning how to fade from one to the next. So I'm going to start with this blue, and then I'm going to travel to this next blue, and then this blue-green. That's sort of my plan, and I think I'm going to start on this small one right here. Let me see, make sure. I know my lines are kind of light, and I did that on purpose, so I hope that you can see this. Excuse me, I hope you can see this right here where the line is. Here I go. So I'm going to start right here in the corner and really think about what makes your value dark. It's all about pressure. So right now I'm pressing down pretty hard with my colored pencil, And now I'm starting to pick up the pressure a little bit. So you're going to start to see a little bit more of white specks of the paper shining through. That's what's making my color appear to be lighter. And I've gone lighter, 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 until I'm hardly even touching the paper. Okay? So there I am. Now I'm going to move to my next value. So I'm going to put that one to the side. And now I'm going to go with this one. And colored pencils, I guess I should have talked about this a little bit. Colored pencils are really what you want to be using for this. You can use crayons. That will also work. So play around with both of those, whatever you have on hand. But I would recommend colored pencils if you do have them. All right, so I'm moving on to this value now. And I'm just going to add it and then see where I need to go. So this is sort of a medium blue here, and I want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to start to build up that value. Again, pressing down hard. Now, do you notice that line right there? I really need to feather that in. So I'm just going to go a little bit lighter on the seam between the two colors, and then a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. So now I'm overlapping the colors. Now I'm still seeing an edge there. So one of the best techniques for that is to actually change the direction in which you're working. So I'm just going to change the direction of how I'm coloring that. And usually that does the trick. So now it's looking like it's really kind of fading from one color to the next pretty seamlessly or gradually. And I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to continue. Now I'm going lighter. Lighter, 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 lighter. And then I am hardly touching the paper again. Now I'm going to come back to another color. This kind of blue-green, teal, and again, just light, light, light. Those colors are almost so close that you can't even really see the difference. I'm overlapping when they come together. And now I'm going to start to go darker. And then at the very edge, I'm going to change the direction so I can get a nice crisp edge here. I'm going to change direction and press down really hard to kind of develop that value, and in this corner as well. All right, now, I don't like how there's this edge right here. That's too dramatic. It's too much of a drastic change, and I want it to be more gradual. So I'm going to come back, and first I'll just, go in the same direction. But I have a feeling it won't get rid of it completely. So once again, I'm going to change direction. So I'm just going to change direction and very lightly just feather that in until you start to see the edge disappear. Once that edge disappears, you know that you developed the values enough and you can stop. I'm noticing I want to blend it in just a little bit more. So this one's gone kind of from dark to light to dark to light, again to dark. So that's kind of fading in and out. Some of them, just kind of fade from one color to the next. So you can play around with how you want that to look. I actually think I would like to have this be a little bit darker in here. Oh, did I grab the wrong value? I might have. I did. I grabbed the wrong color. That's okay. No big deal. All right, now I want to show you something really cool that I love to play around with when I'm doing this. Is that, you have these white colored pencils in your sets typically, and students are always like, well, why do we have a white? It doesn't work on white paper. And what's really cool about white colored pencils is that they actually will make a really good blending tool. So check this out. If you take your white back to an area and you go over the top of your colors, now it does lighten up your values, so keep that in mind. And if you don't want them to, have this kind of lightness to them, you don't have to do this. But I just kind of like the way that it looks. And so all these little specks of white, when you go over it with this white, it kind of smooths them out. And essentially it's tinting them. So white mixed with a color is a tint. Black mixed with a color is a shade. That's something that we've talked about before. So it kind of gives this really nice smoothing effect to the colors. I've done it here also. You can kind of see it where it's made these almost kind of hazy looking. So it's sort of a fun tool to use to help smooth out your colors. Another thing is, if you need to take away values anywhere, erasers, even just a regular pencil eraser can be hugely helpful in different areas. I know I did that a lot when I was actually developing my circles here. So those are the techniques that I really want you to be working on in this project. Again, going from light to dark, making that transition really smooth as you're going between your colors, and come up with some interesting color combinations as well. Like this one, I was sort of going for a little bit of a rainbow, but obviously didn't have enough room to do the whole thing, but I've got like a red, orange, yellow combination happening. It might be kind of fun to do like yellow at one end and then blue at the other. And then when they get together, the colors mix and they turn into green. So that might be another cool thing to play around with. On this project, I do want every single spot or every triangle, every geometric shape that you created back here should be colored. There should be no white left behind, except for areas that obviously are supposed to be white. Like in my spheres here, I wanted that to be white to show that they're three-dimensional. I don't want them to be colored, okay? But all the background should be colored, unlike those practice shading artworks that we were doing earlier on in the last couple of weeks, I guess I would say. So anyway, keep working on this and develop it. Once you are finished with coloring all these sections, here's an example of what it might look like in the end. And this is not an artwork that I created. This is something that I pulled off online. An example that I really liked, which really inspired this project for you guys. So developing, again, all the areas in the background so that everything is colored on your paper. Once it is finished, please take a photo, upload it to Unified Classroom or Seesaw, or send it to me in an email, and I'm really looking forward to the wonderful results that I know will come in. I hope you guys are all doing well. Take care and send me that artwork. We'll see you in the next art video.